Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
So, you've been doing any more of the Bitcoin?
So I have been doing a little bit relatively recently, actually, and in looking at the market right this second, I'm down a couple percent from my newest investments, but
What are you still buying? Are you buying?
I'm kind of
before it was
splitting up
Litecoin?
I've stopped buying Litecoin because I have a bunch of Litecoin, and Litecoin's been sitting at shit for a while. I don't know why. I'm holding because I think it's gonna go back up. This is my personal opinion, but it's been kind of not really following the market and just staying low even when the rest of the stuff starts going high or higher. It's kind of weird. I actually invested in my first Bitcoin Cash because it seems to be the most fluctuating, and I did that specifically for the purpose of like day trading with it, because I watched that one just go from like $1,000 to $1,400 every couple days. It swings back and forth between the two.
Huh.
And so I bought in at about 11.
Buy high, sell, or buy low, sell high.
Right. And when I saw the market tanking last week, I bought in at like $1,100, maybe just over $1,100, and I watched it go back up to about $1,350. I was gonna sell it when it was at 14, and then buy back in with the rest. But right now it went back down again, and it's to 11.17. So right now I'm down like, I bought one token. So it's
Okay.
so I'm like $20 in the hole essentially right now on that one.
Right.
But the
So you'll
market's
probably
so
be all
volatile.
right,
It's not like I didn't buy at like super high, rates or anything like that. So I'm not worried about losing much money. But again, I play with money that is, if I lose it, it's not going to stop me from, making my.
I would like to
house
tell you
or
about the
anything.
new Guude coin. It's only $500. But it's going places, Jeff. If you buy today at 500,
Can I see your
it'll
white
be-
paper on that coin, sir?
I got some white paper. It might be brown when I'm done with it, but and I'll probably flush it.
No, so
That's a white paper.
I'm still playing in the market. We'll see what's going on. I do still have my good hopes for Ripple. I have a lot of the Ripple.
Ripple?
Well, Ripple's a coin that they're trying to actually make it more of a centralized cryptocurrency, because they're getting banks to adopt it to take over their back-end transactions. And they 2 weeks ago did a test run with one of the banks who said it saved them 70% of the money they normally spend in the transactions, and transactions that normally took 2 to 3 days took 20 seconds with using the Ripple network.
I don't know anything you're talking about.
So essentially, it's the technology behind their coin. It's one of the few coins that actually has a really good use case behind it. And so I still think that's going to go somewhere, but it sadly hasn't moved in weeks.
Okay.
It's been
Did you
sitting.
buy a wreath? Ethereum? Ethereum.
Ethereum. I do. I have a less Ethereum. I actually converted some Ethereum over to Ripple last week when I was doing my
What's that one at?
buying. It's down to 626. It's actually up on the screen next to me. $629. I had bought more of it at 680, but it swung up to 720 and back down to 620 something. It's just gonna hover right around here for a while.
What did you buy that originally? Do you remember?
Oh, the first Ethereum I bought,
Yeah.
I think like 500. I actually bought, and it's paid off decently, because the market really tanked about 2 months ago. I mean, it tanked pretty hard, and instead of getting
Well, that's because
upset,
it was like that bubble where Bitcoin becomes super popular because it was up super high, and so everyone just started investing, right?
Right. And when it went down and people were like losing their shit because they lost a bunch of money, I instead was like, well, shit, it's low. I'm just gonna buy some more and hold
You
on
bought
for the
Bitcoin
ride.
whenever it was pretty high too. Have you lost on that?
I probably overall have lost on Bitcoin, but the thing is, I've converted so much of my Bitcoin to other coin at this
It
point.
sounded like you said Dickcoin. Got that Dickcoin.
And I converted it when it was still worth a decent amount of money. Like I bought a first
Right.
big chunk of Ripple at 40 cents, and it went up to, $3 and something at its all-time high, but it's back down to hanging out about 65 to 67 cents lately. So it's not like didn't make me loads, but it made me, I mean, I got a couple thousand of them. So it's made me, some cash from my initial investment.
Right.
So I would say I'm probably net overall right now slightly in the red. Probably by about of what I put in percentage wise, I'd say I'm probably down about 10%.
Okay. But are you actually are you tracking it in a way that you could technically pull up the exact number?
I would have to do some calculations. I'd have to go back through literally all my transactions of what did I purchase it at, what did I send it to, what did I convert it over into. No, I can't.
Well, don't you have to put all this on your taxes?
So it's all started this year.
Okay.
I mean, I bought in a little bit.
I guess what I'm saying is, you're saying you have to do all this stuff, but you don't have this in like QuickBooks or anything, like, because there's going to come a time where you need this data, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
No, I mean, even if you lose, you still need the data.
So we'll see. So the thing is, nobody is 100% certain right now about, because the government basically just came out and said, "Well, people are investing in this shit. We're going to tax it."
Yeah,
there's no real
sounds right.
way to tax it yet, because it's originally should in theory be your just capital gains and losses. However, then they're saying, well, no, we'll tax every single transaction that happens, even if it's just converting from one coin to another. That's not really a gain or a loss. That's a conversion.
Yeah.
But then they said they were going to tax that, but there's no way to track that when you're doing it through multiple different exchanges. So there's been a lot of Reddit discussion and posts in the crypto world about how do you actually even try to tax it on that way as the average person. The average person who jumps into it is not going to be keeping track like that. And a lot of people are questioning. And I think most people for last year have straight up said that they just, if they withdrew a good sum of money in crypto, they just said that this was new income that they had. Like, purchased it this much, I withdrew this much into my bank account. That's an easy way to say, tax me on that. I'm trying to do this legally without taking every single little transaction into account. So basically, until I sell it into US or the government comes out with more understandable regulations on how you're supposed to report it, I can't see a better way to do it than say, if I cash it out, that's where my capital gains come in.
Sounds like it's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I'm not that concerned about the whole tax thing right now. And I also don't have enough invested in where the tax amount is going to be, anything to, it's the people who are withdrawing, $150,000 because they made these, great investments years ago that have panned out for them. I'm not talking about, your millionaires. I'm talking about your people who've done well, but not millionaire status.
Right.
They're going to be the people who are probably the most screwed, because a millionaire is just going to get like a tax guy. Be like, hey, I'm doing this, you take care of it. I can afford to pay you. Whereas the other people are going to be the ones that are like, is it good enough to say I invested $3,000 and I cashed out $150,000?
Right.
Or do they want to see all this day trading numbers, type of deal?
Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't bought any money into it. I still have that little bit of Bitcoin that I have always had from way back in the day, but I'm not doing anything with it.
Nearly as much it was when you first remembered that you had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we were talking about that when Bitcoin was at its like all-time high of like 20 grand, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What's it at now? Is it even over 10,000 still?
No, it just dropped below 7 today for the first time in a while.
Woo! Man.
Oh, excuse me, not below 7, below 8, so in the 7s.
Right. Huh. I wonder. I honestly, I think I remember telling you that I thought it was like 1,000 was where it should live. Personally,
I think a lot of people do. I don't think Bitcoin should exist anymore. Bitcoin has started the whole trend, but it is kind of like the worst of the technologies out there. It's so slow with its transaction times, the small blocks and all this stuff make it not a very versatile coin, but it was first to market. But somehow it still leads the pack.
It's got the name, right?
I mean, that must be what it is, because Ethereum and Bitcoin both do the exact same thing much better. and are not worth nearly as much. And then you've got the other ones like Ripple, Siacoin, etc. You know, certain other ones that have a different technology that they're based on. They're not trying to be identical to Bitcoin. They're trying to do something different. Like Siacoin, which is super cheap. I have like tens of thousands of those because they were like 1 to 2 pennies a piece when I bought into them, and they're still hanging out like right around 2 pennies a piece. So they haven't gone up in value yet. But it's based on trying to decentralize file storage, cloud file storage.
Huh. That's interesting.
You know, based on blockchain technology, which I think is a really cool concept. I don't know if it's going to pick up and take off because it still bases on users who are, the quote unquote miners of, Siacoin. Granted, it has its own miners, but they're people who are renting out their spare hard drive space. But then you have all these people who do it, so it's all a redundant network of, X number of people have to house, the people's files for redundancies purposes, and you pay it via Siacoin, and you earn Siacoin by renting out your hard drive space. So it's a cool concept, but whether it is adopted or not, who knows? Yeah.
Some people probably worry about the privacy of their files too.
Right, and that's, I don't even know, like when I'm renting out my hard drive space, can I just look at your files?
Or I would imagine you're only getting like a few bytes out of something that, you know what I mean?
Well, if you're the DC Department of Health, I'll just like share it forever.
I'm sure you have. That's probably where they store their files. Honestly,
it's just the DC Department of Health website.
Yeah, they're pretty much backing Siacoin at this point.
Right next to all the social security numbers.
Yeah, yeah. Just open up your hard drive right now and
be like, oh,
see everything.
Social security numbers.
Yeah, just do like a file find on social security, and there it is.
It probably would be, for the love of God. Oh my God, their system. How is there not standard regulation amongst government agencies about?
It's kind of like all the shit we've talked about within your hospital. That's why there's none of this shit's all organized. Oh. Did you see? Did you get a comment from Cerner guy on your video?
I did see that comment, and I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, I almost wrote him back and was like, "Yeah, you really did fail me." But I was like, "That's kind of a dick thing to say," but that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
But so speaking of more fucked up things at my hospital, and this shows the complexity of our system. So our women's and infant services system is a different platform right now. It'll eventually get migrated, but it's currently not, and which causes all sorts of issues with obviously interfacing and all, because it's a different electronic health record system. But it's always been its own thing. For whatever reason, that's why it hasn't switched over yet. Like, it was one of the first ones to be an EHR within our hospital. And then everybody else came up on one, and they just kept their old system. So it causes all these problems. But I'm not talking about, like, within my hospital. Apparently, that's pretty standard with this particular application amongst the industry, because the women's and infant services application, it's they say that it's really hard for a company to come in and make a good one. You really have to be specialized in that area. So a lot of facilities stick with their original one because it's tailored to be for women's and infant services. But either way, I have to have this conversation because of some lack of support that we've been getting in a specific area from the company about some issues that we've been having with some of the hardware. It's been going on since December, and we still don't have it fixed now in May.
Wow.
And so I get on this phone call with all these people. I asked for some time on the agenda of a major call, like at the system level, with all these people. And the vendor was going to come on so I could basically rant and give my concerns and my piece. And I am not kidding you. It was, I made a comment about how long it had been, how I feel like we're not getting our appropriate level of service that we're supposed to be getting, and explained all the rationale as to why. And this other person that apparently works with that company was sitting there and saying, well, I don't understand why you think it's taking so long to get responses to your problems, because when you put in a ticket with our support team, there is a requirement that within 24 hours they, create the ticket, and everything you're talking about, it's this hardware that has like basically died and won't work. Yeah, they're within 24 hours. So I'm not sure where you're getting the information that you're supposed to go through this one individual person. That's the other guy who joined the call. Whenever you have all these hardware issues. And I said, look, we were told that we have to work through this one individual. I said, and that was to the point where this one individual was on vacation for 3 weeks, and we were told you have to wait till he comes back before he can even help you troubleshoot this issue. And she was like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, you need to call this, support desk. Why didn't you call them? Why didn't this happen? And he's sitting there agreeing with like, oh yeah, you should have done this other system. And I don't know enough about this system. I'm just trying to help out some team members of mine with this. So I'm just the one, making the scene or whatever. And so as we talk longer and longer, I said at the end of it to clear everything up, and I said, and from now on, instead of contacting you, which we were originally told to do, we will always put in these issues into the blah, blah, blah support system to make sure that they get ticketed and logged appropriately, as you're now saying they're supposed to, which we didn't realize before. And he was like, yes, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Except just so you know, that support system only deals with the application itself. So if it's a hardware issue, they actually can't help you with it.
What?
And that's, I was like, that the whole conversation is about the reason I'm having this conversation with you right now is a specific hardware issue that we just had a 20-minute conversation about how we should have called this other system because they were the ones that were supposed to log the ticket. And you're now telling us that we can't call that system in order to log the ticket for that particular issue that we're complaining about. Who are we supposed to call then? And he said his own name.
What happened at that point? Did you just hang up on him?
There was I just got very quiet because I was like bewildered at what was just stated. And then somebody at the system level kind of tried to politically correctly control the situation, but you could tell in a way where she was like, I'm taking some notes here and we'll be making some phone calls later type of deal. Yeah, I was just, and this wasn't a my hospital thing. Like I said, that's why I don't even feel bad about talking about it because it just happened today. This is literally this particular company and the support model that they're supposed to be offering that they're not, that we've been trying to deal with. But it was so funny. It was such a blame shift on us to then completely try to sneak their way back into that. Pretty much what we did is what we were supposed to do, and that's the only people that can help with it after trying to completely blame shift it and tell us that we did it wrong.
Right.
It was off the wall. It is kind of funny to watch people when they try to cover their asses, but then try to make it sound like they were telling the truth the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man.
Be glad you're not still in the corporate world, man. Oh, you're in bed.
No. Yeah. I'm glad. Trust me.
It's got so many problems. Oh, we're gonna have a big problem because I'm not putting torches back down. I'm just taking shit away.
There wasn't torches on those levels.
Oh, there wasn't? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I was honestly thinking as I was watching you do that you should probably do that.
Yeah, whatever. It's the worst that's gonna happen.
Yeah, right.
You're not in bed.
Oh, is it bedtime?
Oh, I could have sworn you said you were in bed.
Nope.
I will tell you, I'm just staring at the chart right now on Ethereum. Ethereum's about to tank.
Is it?
Yes.
Did you sell?
No. Wait, that just corrected itself. That was weird. There was a huge buy wall, like a bigger buy wall than one I've ever seen before. Was all of a sudden, or a sell wall. I mean, right up there. It means like shit tons of people were selling all at once for. I don't quite understand what's going on with this chart right now. Baby, get away from me.
Yeah, baby. I went to the spawner to see how hard it would be to completely repair one of these pickaxes. I was just curious.
And?
Well, it was at 7 durability. I've been here about 4 minutes, and I'm at 256 out of 1,500.
Oh, that's not terrible at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you would probably 10 minutes repair the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. I fought all night that one night, and I think it went up like 15 points or something like that.
Yeah. And technically, I'm also spending XP on my sword because it's full still. So some of the XP is going towards that whenever I hit these guys.
Are your levels not increasing at all anymore?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't think they are. I'm gonna kind of pay attention to this next time I think it gets full. I'm at level 27 right now. I could probably get a little bit.
I haven't been paying attention if my levels have still been going up since we put mending on this stuff or not.
Handful of skeletons in here. So what's your thought on mobile games?
I like to play them in the bathroom.
How do you feel about all these PC games that are going to mobile? Like PUBG, for example. It's like a full-on mobile game.
I'd be curious to see it. I want to say that it doesn't make any sense to me because it's so small. But then I think back and think of like the Game Gear, and that was full Sonic on a little teeny screen, and I thought it was amazing back in the day.
Right.
So,
or like even the Game Boy, like not even color. Like, I mean, I played the shit out of my Game Boy.
Yeah, but I feel that most standard mobile games feel like Game Boy games.
I think they're better than Game Boy games.
Well, yes, I would agree, but the concept is more like Game Boy. I think the Game Gear was like ahead of its time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, this is going pretty fast. I'm at 395 now on my durability here. So yeah, this is a viable thing. And I am gaining a little bit of XP as well. So I'm moving up in levels. It's not as fast as it was because the XP's going into this other stuff, but it's going up.
Are you gonna play some PUBG mobile?
No, I mean I've looked at it just to see what it's like, and it looks better than it does on the PC, just about, to be honest, which is kind of weird. That it looks as good as it does. It doesn't play very well. I mean, it's not. It shouldn't be a mobile game, in my opinion. It's not. But it seems like that's where the money's at, so that's where the market's going, kind of thing. It's just weird to me.
I mean, do you play against 100 random people on mobile?
Yeah. Well, see, the people claim that a lot of the people you're going against are actually bots that PUBG has put in. So I don't know. A lot of people are saying that you're not, that you're playing against a lot of bots. So I can't confirm or deny that to be true.
But you're not playing against people on a PC.
Right. No, you're definitely playing against other mobile. Right. I guess the closest it would come to cross-platform would be like Apple and Android mixing.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of interesting to see some of the mobile platforms actually make PC games and have them be cross-platform. Like I could play Minecraft from my phone, but I actually like on a server, and we could just be playing with whoever it is that's on there.
Well, you can now. You can play. Yeah, you can play in all devices with
the Windows 10 version.
Yeah.
I still haven't played the Windows 10 version.
It runs a lot better.
But then you have to pay for everything, like servers, maps.
Yes, that's true. I mean, that's good for them, right?
Oh, yeah, sure it is. Great for them. I just personally don't want to do it. I don't like paying for games like at a subscription rate, just because I feel like I feel like I would play them more because I'd feel like I was missing out and wasting my money if I didn't.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that.
Yeah, I'm not saying the subscription model is a bad thing to have for games. I just personally don't like it for myself. Like one of the reasons I never played WoW is because
man, we just reactivated our WoW accounts. Me and Co and Justin and Pause, and we've been playing it on Wednesday. Oh, I got the hiccups. It's awful. Playing it on Wednesday, and I mean, I enjoy it. We're starting over at like level 1 and leveling characters and stuff. So it's it's the game from start. Co's really never played it, and I'm playing a class I haven't really played heavily, so I've enjoyed it so far. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. They want to do raiding in the next expansion that comes out in August. And I'm not convinced that's going to last. I'm mainly not convinced it's going to last because Pause is going to be one of the tanks, and Pause is real bad about being consistent and
disappearing out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's not reliable. Nothing against Pause. So I am a little bit concerned if he's going to be the tank. That's one of the most required classes to get anything to happen. That we might be putting ourselves in a situation where, but I mean, other than that, I don't know. It's one of those things that when I did it back in the day. I mean, I did it at a professional level, and I was getting paid by advertisers, and everyone in my guild was getting paid to play for the most part, or their accounts paid for, or something. There was some kind of kickback, even if it wasn't a paycheck. So people were more apt to show up.
Now.
Right? Yeah. No. But yeah, no. There was a reason to show up, and it was we treated it like a job, and I don't think that's what's going to happen here. But I've also heard it's more casual these days, and it's not required to kind of treat it that way. So I don't know. We'll see. I do think with us being streamers, that is helpful because even if you're not getting paid to play, you're getting paid to play, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So if the viewers are there for it and there's interest there, it at least could motivate people to want to play. So we'll see. I don't know. It'll be interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to the level I used to play, and I don't want to have to tell people how to play and do all that sort of stuff again. Because yeah, it was like a second job.
Yeah, I've never ever played WoW in my life.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
I was afraid that it was going to be fun, and I would get addicted to it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's kind of how I look at drugs. Like I'll never try something like cocaine because I'm afraid I would like it.
Yeah, I mean,
or heroin, like all those things.
And that's really what it is. I have nothing against it. I just was like, well, I'm going to get sucked into that.
Yeah. Yep.
I have a buddy who was, I don't know if he still is or not, but he was really into Guild Wars instead. And I know, well, wasn't Wes really into...
Yeah, I was about to say, was his name Wes Wilson?
No, it wasn't Wes, but I remember Wes being really into it as well.
Yeah, Wes really wanted to convince us all to play Guild Wars, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like it was fun as well. I tried to learn it, though, on my own. Like, it wasn't, I don't know, when my buddy used to play it, like, he didn't have a setup that he would, like, sit home alone by himself and play it, and he was all about, like, you know, text-based chatting with anybody who was on there type of deal. Like, it was, you know, before getting groups into Skype and, you know, Discord and Ventrilo, or he just wasn't in those groups, I guess. I think Ventrilo and TeamSpeak and stuff existed when he was playing. And I didn't want to sit there and try to learn how to play by either, like, talking to him on the phone for hours with him, or by texting, how do I do this, you know?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we always use Ventrilo. I guess probably everyone's using Discord this day, I guess. For the most part.
Yeah, I used to use Ventrilo all the time. I wonder why Ventrilo fell out of favor.
I think it was because you had to pay for your server, and it wasn't something everyone had, and
I guess
that sort of stuff.
Server.
Yeah,
I was
like
personally
Skype
a big fan of Mumble because it was free, but then there was all these people that were like, Mumble's terrible, the sound quality's awful, and I never had a problem with sound quality.
I didn't. I was one of those guys because I always had bad sound quality compared to Vent. I don't know.
I always had fine sound quality in Vent. Like when we did.
No,
like,
I mean in Vent I did, not Mumble though.
Oh, in Vent, not Mumble. So you were the opposite. Because every time we've done anything...
I liked Vent. I hated Mumble.
Wait.
Yeah. So yeah, I was saying I was one of those guys that didn't like Mumble because I had bad sound quality.
Oh, but whenever we done UHCs that used the Mumble plugin, did you have terrible sound quality doing those?
No, it was okay. It wasn't as good as when we used Skype though.
I mean, who am I to tell? Everybody says I'm too quiet anyway. Your voice overpowers them, so.
Right. Well, I can't hear you, Jeff, so we're going to have to finish this episode here.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
Oh, man. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.